Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And today I wanted to make a video which was a bit different to my usual content. I'm not out in the yard and stuff like that. Today I am telling you guys things I wish I knew before buying a horse. So before we get on with this video, I would like to say that I am in no way bragging or seeming like I'm ungrateful. I would like to put it out there that I pay for everything what Molly has, her livery, the farrier, everything, every little minuscule cost I pay for. So I'm not coming across rude or anything. This is just this is my, situation I had when I bought her. So just a little backstory. I was almost 18 when I bought Molly. I started riding when I was 14. Obviously I would beg for a horse, anyone would when they start riding lessons, and my mum was always like, no, I'm not buying your horse, she shouldn't have to. She was like, you only can have a horse when you can drive yourself to the yard and you're able to pay for it yourself. But at this point, when I got offered Molly, I was ready working. I got my job when I turned 16 and I was almost 18. So I've been working for 2 years at this point. Bad pay, but at that point I had really bad pay, but I saved. So when I got offered her, a little backstory, I was riding Molly as a 4-year-old for like 8 months ish. And then when I got offered her, my whole family knew about her because I had pictures all over my room. I loved this pony to pieces, but I didn't think she was going to get sold to me. Anyways, so my grandparents did help with the upfront cost of Molly, but that is it. Everything else I paid for. We like halved her price because I did get like proper overcharged for a 13-1 feral 4-year-old, but because I loved her, the situation was there. So my amazing lovely grandparents helped me out. So that is like the backstory with it, but every other cost that came with her I paid myself, unless it was like a birthday present like a saddle pad, but I think that's a bit irrelevant. But yeah, everything I pay for. So I just want to make that clear in case people think I'm being ungrateful or coming across anything like that. So now we have got the little explanation over. Now the first point I would like to say that personally caught me off guard, things that I wish I knew before buying a horse, is I obviously understood how much the upfront cost of the horse would be. We understood that. I knew how much she was. But what I didn't realise, in your head, in the back of your head, you've got these little bits and bobs in your head what you need to pay for a horse, like a broom, a pitchfork, stuff like that. You know that in your head, but you don't realise how much that adds up. Like, it really adds up. So you have to buy wheelbarrow, 80 quid. Cheap wheelbarrow, 80 quid in my area anyways. Then I think you can buy a B&M metal wheelbarrow for like 50 quid, but it depends. I think that's the first one I went with. But then if you want like a plastic bigger one, I personally like those ones because they're deeper, you can fit more muck in them. I think they range from like 80 to £100. I'm not 100%, but that's the one I go for. Feed bins. I bought a black box, like a gardening box, where you can keep garden tools and like home stuff for outdoor. I keep that outside my stable. I think that was like £50. You've got to think about farrier. So when I bought Molly, she needed the farrier. That's £35. Then you also have to think about horse insurance. So I think when I'm on Animal Friends, and I think they quoted me £400 to £500. Obviously as a working gal and just buying a pony, there's no way I could pay that upfront cost just on horse insurance. So I'm still to this day paying it monthly off. I've almost had her for 2 years in June, which is next month actually. But I insured her the following month. So I insured her in the July. So it's coming up now because we're in May, I'm going to try and pay it off yearly because I'm more in a financial situation where I can. But obviously, ripe age of almost 18-year-old, I was like, excuse me, £500, are you joking me? So I've been paying that off monthly, which is around £40 a month, I think £45 a month. So yeah, that obviously is a big chunk of your money coming out of your account. You've also got to think of things like passport. I didn't know anything about this, so when I bought Molly, I needed to change over her old owner's name to my name. I think that was around £25 to £30. You've also got to think about any treatment they need, like when you get the saddler out to fit a new saddle. I was quite lucky because the Tap Molly had fitted her. I didn't have to buy the bridle because the bridle came with her. No, sorry, that's a lie. I didn't have to buy the bridle because the bridle was mine because, as I mentioned before, I was riding her for like 8 months before that, and I bought her a new bridle because she had a tatty bridle before then. And I loved her to bits, so I couldn't not buy her a bridle. And then the saddle, she had actually fitted her, so that was quite easy for me to get my way out of skipping like the saddle fitter and everything like that. I have to keep in mind some livery yards up for a month's upfront cost. So this was my old livery yard, not the one I was just at where I bought her. Also confusing. So a lot of yards ask for a month in advance. So say your livery is £400 a month, they will ask for 800, so 400 for the in advance and then the 400 for when you're going. So say if you leave, you can ask for that 400 back. I'm pretty sure that's how it worked, but that's how it worked where I was anyways. So that's obviously a big chunk of your account coming out. You've also got to think about like little bits and bobs, like feed. You need to figure out what horse feed you're on. So I think I was on like chaff and mix, I think, which was like £60 altogether. You've got to think about rugs. So one rug can cost from £30 to £100 plus. It depends what your price range is, but I'm just trying to picture it in your heads how much the overall cost will be, because I just thought, it won't cost any more than £200 to like sort her out, kind of thing. Either I was just dumb, or no, I was just dumb. Let's be real, I was just dumb because I was mind blown about, because when all the little costs, when you buy a head collar, so you buy a head collar, it's £20, you're like, easy. Then you buy a pitchfork, another £20, it doesn't matter. But then when you look in your account and you realise that chunk of money is gone, you really have to try and be more aware. And although buying a horse at nearly 18 was kind of a silly idea because all my money goes on her, it really has made me what's the word, like money aware, not in a bad way, but I'm really sensible, and I feel like I'm a lot more mature in that way, where I don't just go spending it on a t-shirt or like spending it on an expensive pair of shoes. Like, I know what my priorities are and I know how to save, which is also a good thing, because when you have a horse you want to have savings in case any situations happen. So also you have to be careful and be aware of injuries. 2 months after me buying Molly, she actually colicked on wormer, and you also have to buy wormer because you have to ask the old owner when they were last wormed, whether you worm count them or just worm them literally. So I've always been taught just worm them. I wormed her and she did react very badly to the wormer, and she actually almost died from it, and it was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever watched in my life. Like your literal baby lying, struggling to breathe. It was the most traumatic thing of my life. But yeah, so that is the first thing I would say. Be prepared for the upfront. Sorry, I did go on a bit of a ramble in the last thing, but the next thing I would like to say is winter/motivation. So what I would like to say is that anyone can say, oh, I find winter easy and everything like that. Like, no one will find an equestrian winter easy, especially on last winter where we're still in it. It's like May and literally 2 days ago it was chucking it down. So for any equestrians struggling out there with like motivation with the winter, it is really, really hard to, when it's freezing and you've got to ride your horse, it is the most heartbreaking and horrible thing ever. And we have to battle through it. We have to get up to the yard. Obviously, our ponies are all in overnight and out during the day. That's for most people. Some horses can live out. It really depends on what you're able to do. But a lot of us equestrians are up right before their 9 to 5 job, mucking their horses out in minus weather, in snow, in ice, in everything, risking your life to drive there. So yeah, it is, you know, you do need to give yourself credit for that. And I definitely think motivation and like consistency, I find it, no one ever told me how bad it was. And the funny thing is, right, is before I owned, I worked all winters. I never found it as bad as owning. It's mad. Like, I just never found it as bad. But now I own, I don't actually currently work with horses, which does break my heart slightly. But the situations I was getting put in was just, people were taking the mick because I was young, and you know, they take the mick. So I decided to step away from the horses for now. As much as I love them to pieces, it's hard. It is hard. So yeah, I would say be prepared for the winter, the winters ahead, and the motivation, because you will say right now that you will have this routine. Guarantee you will not stick to it. And it is also really difficult, because when your horses are being difficult, it's freezing, you don't want to do it, and your horse is acting up. It is really hard to keep the confidence up during winter. But trust me, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It was so warm today, it was amazing. And literally, I swear most equestrians just do horses. Yes, they love the horse, but I swear they literally just do the riding for the summer, but you actually have to fit them up for summer, so it's kind of bad. So the next thing I wish I knew before owning a horse is actually how much time they take of your day. So you know, if you're coming from a riding school situation or a loaning situation, you know, you're used to just tacking up and riding, doing the odd mucking out, whatever. Even if you get to tacking up, you know what I mean, it depends. It really depends on what you've done. You really don't understand how much time of the day they can take up. Like, I will go to the yard around 7, let's say that. I'll go to the yard for 7, be planned to leave for 9. That's 2 whole hours for me to ride, to muck out and go. I'm still there at 12. Tell me why I'm there at 12. I don't know why I'm there at 12. Like, I bump into a friend, start chatting to them, then they walk with me to the muck heap, and then they're standing outside my stable like mucking out, and then I look at the clock and go, uh-oh, I'm meant to be gone by now, like 2 hours ago. So it is a really time consuming thing, especially in summer when you want to be there at all hours of the day. It's such a large commitment, especially when you want to do competing. Like, a lot of the shows I go to in the summer, they're all in the morning, so we have to get there bright and early in the morning, and then by the time you've gotten back, cleaned your box out and or your trailer or whatever, it's like past 1. And it really depends what shows, like what classes. Like, sometimes I stay low in like the 1670 heights, because I don't want to wait an extra hour and a half to take the 80. Do you get what I mean? So I definitely would say keep in your mind how time consuming it can take, and it's not a sake of you ride for an hour. Sometimes you ride less, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I ride for half an hour and be like, I'm done, she's done, we're both done, let's go home. But it's just like little things, so just be prepared for it not to go perfect. I used to write everything down to the T of the time, could never stick to it. Like, don't get me wrong, if I'm in a really big rush or I've got something to do, then I will. But sometimes you have to sacrifice, like riding or giving them a groom or something like that. You just have to chuck them in and say night and go, kind of thing. So yeah, just be prepared for that. Another thing I would like to say is a tack shop addiction. So owning a horse, like, I already had the addiction before the horse. Like, I had so many saddle pads left. Not even left, but I had so many saddle pads for horses I didn't own. Like, it was ridiculous. But when you actually have a horse, you have a reason to validate why you need these things when you don't. Like, every time I go into RB, it's like a battle with myself. Do I need it? Yes I do. No I don't. Yes I do. No I don't. Do I need to spend the money? No. Do I have the money? No. But do I want it? Yes. You know what I mean? So be prepared to spend ridiculously amounts of money in the tax shops. Like, you will go in there just going in for one thing, or even just to ask a question, and you'll come back with a basket full of things. Like, it's not even funny. The amount of it's ridiculous. Sorry, I keep looking at my phone there, and then I look at my phone at the actual camera, and then I look in the middle. I can't tell which one to look at, so I'm just going through. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, be prepared for that, because you will find things that you need, especially when show season comes. So I feel like show jumping, you don't really have a show season, so you can compete, you know, all seasons, because you're in an arena for show jumping. I don't know why I'm doing that. You can compete whenever you want. Show jumping, it's on all year round. That's the word I wanted. Sorry, I'm making you jiggle. So me and my friend, because she takes us, we personally make the decision to compete them around from May to like September, October, November max. So around those months we take them out competing, and then the rest of the months, depending how cold or icy or everything like that, we kind of take it by month, take it by day, whether we want to take them out. But we, don't get me wrong, we do fun things in the summer as well, especially this summer's going to be fun. But the winter is usually chill, just for hacking, and just let them be horses and have more of a chill time. And then in summer we can have a lot of fun. I think it's good to give horses a break as well. We're a bit more over dramatic with breaks. Like, I will jump Molly and be like, that made me tired, so she has to have the day off tomorrow. So yeah, I thought I'd just put that in there as if well. You need any, like, that's the thing I was rambling on about. So if you need like certain pieces for things for yourself, like, I've lost those gloves, I've lost this, like, the money will add up, guys. And just try and be a bit smart about it, because I can guarantee you'll go on a big shopping spree and then your horse will injure itself, and that's a lot of guilt on you for buying all that stuff. So the last thing I would like to say, I haven't done loads of points because I don't want to bore everyone, because I do go on a bit of a ramble sometimes. Like, I can talk for England, so we're just going to keep it to 4 simple points. And this 4th point does go along with the 2nd point, with like the winter motivation and stuff like that. Okay, I obviously live at home, and let me tell you the amount of complaints I get from my mum in winter that I smell of horses, and the amount of clothes I go through. Be prepared to have layers. You want layers for winter. You want your waterproofs, you want your fleeces, you want your fluffy socks, and you want your socks under your fluffy socks, all of that jazz. Be prepared, but be prepared to the amount of washing you're gonna have. Honestly, the amount of washing I go through winter, like, I'm wearing like 3 pairs of leggings, and of course you're going to put a lot of them in the wash because they smell, but then you get complained at for putting them in the wash because, you know, they literally just washed it the day before. You know what I mean? So be prepared for the amount of washing you go through winter, and definitely have backups after backups, because yeah, just saying, you get filthy. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. Make sure you like and subscribe. I have got 206 followers, which is absolutely mad, because I've really gotten myself back on track with the YouTube. I'm really enjoying it and posting, and I'm actually remembering to video. The last couple weeks I pick up the camera to film and then I forget to film, and it's just not the same. So I've really been trying my best to keep the videos coming. So yeah, I'd really appreciate for a like and a subscribe if you're interested of seeing any more. And please comment down below if you any video suggestions. I'm up for anything, just give me the ideas and I will try and give it to you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video, because it's not a style I usually do, just sit down but I'm good at talking, like I said, like I'm still talking right now and I can't stop myself. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.